Hello viewers, it's your girl movie fangirl, and today I'm going to be talking about a movie that came out in 1988, and that's, of course, I'm talking about Beetlejuice. So yeah, I'm basically doing a movie review by this point, because the reason why, the sequel is coming out in a few days. So to honor, the sequel that's going to come out pretty soon, I thought it was the right time just to talk about it a little bit. Because we all know it by this point. Because the story is basically about a couple who tragically dies from a car accident, and a couple that basically just becomes ghosts for the majority of the movie, because, it makes sense because they're dead. And the couple is played by Alec Baldwin and Glenna Davidson. So yeah, you probably know who Alec Baldwin is by this point. I only mainly know him from the extremely disappointed Cat in the Hat live action movie. Yeah, I kind of regret watching that movie, honestly. And of course, Glenn Davison is actually the actress who was in, I think it was called Big League, because it was about a team of women's not soccer, baseball basically, with the one with Tom Hanks and stuff like that. Yeah, because that's how I'm mainly gonna recognize that movie, because of Tom Hanks is in there. and then one day a couple comes in, or a family I should say, because there's a child there, and they all change up the house and stuff like that, but the daughter named Lydia finds two people still there, despite that they're both ghosts, because it is revealed in a book that they can't really be seen by the living. That makes sense. But except for Lydia. And then once they cross paths with one another, because the couple was trying to freaking scare them to get them out of the house. What else do they want? They're dead. And with a little connection between Lydia and the couple, because over time they become more like friends, but more like a little small surrogate family, which I actually do quite like. But the main star of this is not actually the couple and the new family that came in. It's of course Beetlejuice himself, played by Michael Keaton. And oh boy, he steals every time he's on screen. Seriously. All I can really remember that movie is basically is his performance. Because although he doesn't really appear a lot in this movie basically, but he freaking steals it, especially by the end. But because Michael Keaton just plays a very iconic role, he's actually going to return into the sequel, and I am so happy to see him in there. Although it's also revealed that he's also not going to be in the movie that often, but that's what I'm a little bit concerned about. But we'll get to that a little bit later. And the few scenes I really like when he's talking to the couple and stuff like that, and a lot of adult jokes here and there, because I was around a teenager when I first watched that movie, so it's quite funny. And especially the last scene, where Beetlejuice needs to get married in order I have no idea, it's really complicated. He just wants to get married, which is of course Lydia, as I recall, is a child. Which, yeah, that's a little bit problematic. Well, the reason why was because the couple was about to go into limbo. Well, because of the idiot person who found the book. They should really, the couple really needs to find, a better place to put that book, honestly. And, some iconic scenes from that moment here and there. And then he gets eaten by the sandworm. Well, not really eat, but he gets taken back to the underworld. Switches, attack with a voodoo guy, and gets his head shrunk. What a great way to end that movie. Overall, I freaking love this movie. So I highly recommend getting the Blu-ray or DVD and stuff like that. So yeah. And what about the sequel? On one hand, I'm actually quite excited because Tim Burton is directing this movie, and I do trust his work and stuff like that. Well, for the most part, honestly. And of course, Catherine O'Hara, like the mother portrays like in this movie, Lydia and Michael Keaton are going to be returning to their roles like in this movie, so I'm highly excited for that. But I am also a little nervous. Well, not just because I don't want to go see it, it's just because I'm a little afraid it's going to fall into that category of, like stereotypical like movies that we're getting nowadays. But given it's a Tim Burton film, and he is directing this movie, and with some lot of positive outlook on it, especially when its opening release, because it actually made a lot of money, which became the highest grossing like movie premiere at that point. So I do have some high hopes about it. So I just really hope that the sequel will actually will be a decent sequel. I know it's definitely not going to surpass this movie, but I just wanted to be a decent sequel. That's basically it. So, yeah, that's all that I really need to talk about. I just want to do something simple today. So, I can't wait to see the movie, and I want to see from you guys. Are you excited to see this movie? Comment down below if you're happy to see it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.